In today's video, we're going to be talking about 10 things that would be terrible if Grand Theft Auto Online was realistic. So about a year ago, I made part 2 of this video, and a lot of you guys wanted to see part 2 or made amazing suggestions that would make for an awesome part 2. So that's what I'm making today. As always, I'd love to get you guys contributing in the comments down below. What are some things that would suck if Grand Theft Auto Online was realistic? Now, before we get started, I'm well aware that Grand Theft Auto Online is not supposed to be a real-life simulator in any way, but we're just going to do this sort of hypothetical scenario. So at the number 1 spot today, taxes. So what's that saying you've always heard? There's 2 guarantees in life, death and taxes. Imagine if there was a tax season in Grand Theft Auto Online where Rockstar took like 20, 25, 30% of all your earnings from that year. I mean, basically what happens in real life, you have to pay your taxes. And for some people, it's 20, 25, 30, 35% of their income. And I mean, it would make sense because technically we are business owners in online. We've got nightclubs, we've got hangars and bunkers, and we've got biker businesses, all of those generating money. Imagine if there were taxes and it happened on like one day each year and there was no way to avoid it. Like, I know we pay daily fees and stuff like that, but that would be nothing to the likely hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars that we would probably have to give up if we pay taxes in online. So I'm so glad that we don't, because people would get poor very, very quickly, or they would like try and spend all their money before tax day. I don't even know how it would work, but it would certainly be crazy. Number 2 today, if you had to pay for damages you did to the world or the city. So let's say you knock over like a traffic light, or you accidentally throw a sticky bomb inside the clothing store and it blows the entire thing up. Wouldn't it be crazy if after every day, Rockstar or the game or the city of Los Santos sent you a bill for all the damages you caused? I wonder if that would actually be a good thing. Would it cut back on griefing? Or would it cause people to just drive super carefully? Like they would never run red lights. They would never take shortcuts, because if they knock over that light pole and it lands on someone else's car, do they have to pay money for that? Like it almost creates like a rabbit hole of things you would start to go down. So that would be insane if you had to pay the city of Los Santos and the world of San Andreas money if you did damages. Now, this is sort of limited because we're not playing Battlefield here. Like, you can't knock over buildings and walls, but you can still do a lot of damage to the world. And I think it would be crazy if Rockstar ultimately made you pay for that, how much money you would actually add up. The number 3 spot today, realistic injuries. So let's say you jumped from just a little bit too high of a ledge and you end up hitting the ground and you break your leg. Well, what if a realistic injury, made you have a limp, or like you had to drag that leg until you could get to a hospital in order to fix yourself up? Or if there was like a self-healing aspect of it, like if Michael was a trained EMT or whatever, he could fix his own leg. That would be pretty crazy. Same with like if you get shot in the leg or shot in the arm, you might not be able to use two-handed weapons. You could only like pull out a pistol with your left hand. Let's just say that. That one to me would be pretty crazy. Now, I actually kind of like this because I feel like it would add a little bit of more utilization to the hospitals in game, which really have none other than being a spawn location and some very, very minor stuff for single player. So I think to a degree that actually would be kind of cool. But like, imagine every little bullet you took, you'd have to go to the hospital to get fixed, which I mean does happen in real life. But in Grand Theft Auto Online, that would be the biggest pain in the butt ever. Number 4 spot today, going to prison. So what if you committed a crime so bad, and if you were actually caught by the police with 4 or 5 stars, that you went to jail? And what if you had to realistically serve that jail sentence? Now, I'm not talking about like years or years at a time where, you won't be able to play Grand Theft Auto Online for all of 2019. But what if it was like a day or 2 in game where you literally were in jail? Now, again, we're supposed to be talking about things that could suck, but what if you had crew members that could break you out? What if you had friends that could break you out of jail and you had to rely on them? That would kind of be awesome. Like if that was a dynamic thing, like if the game told you, hey, your friend has gone to jail, you can leave them or you can choose to break them out. But if you risk breaking them out, you go to jail with them. That would be so much fun. So it would stink if you were on your own, but it would kind of be like a fun little thing to try and do. So, and it would also, kind of speaking of the hospital, be a great way for Rockstar to utilize sort of the jail and going to jail in online. So I think that would be kind of cool. Even though this is supposed to be things that would make online terrible, I think it would be kind of neat. The number 5 spot today, if you run out of money, Rockstar starts to seize your assets. So for example, you can actually have no money in online and it can actually benefit you. You don't pay your daily fees. If you do an import-export mission, you aren't charged for the car itself. Well, what if you ran out of money, Rockstar sort of acted like a bank and they would sort of seize your assets. Like first, it would start with your apartments, then your CEO offices, then your biker businesses, all until you broke even. That would be insane. Like if they almost held those businesses hostage. Now, I'm not talking about, selling them, because some people might say, hey, that's a great way for me to get rid of my businesses that I don't use. No, they would just like take them hostage for a second and not allow you to use them until it generated enough money to ultimately get you back above zero. And then once that happened, they would give you back your offices and your businesses. That would be insane. I mean, that's what happens in real life. If you can't pay someone, they like start seizing your car, your house, stuff like that. That would stink. But I guess in a way it's fair unless like a modder takes away your money. I don't know. That's why all the things we're talking about in this video like could have so many different twists and turns, but that would definitely be a big bummer. Number 6 today, if the game had real life time and weather. So I was thinking about this, would it work for players in like Alaska and Florida? So for example, in Alaska, would it like always be snowing? Well, that doesn't make sense because the game takes place in fictional Los Angeles. So I thought to myself, how would this work if we went on real life LA time and weather? Well, the weather would be pretty accurate. It's always, 75 degrees and sunny. But what if Grand Theft Auto Online days were the same length of time as days in real life, 24 hours long? Like at 10 p.m. at night, it would be dark. At noon, it would be daylight. Right now, the way the days work in online, it's every 48 minutes is a day. So 48 minutes in real life is one full day. What if one full day in real life was one full day in online? I mean, what if you could only play during the nighttime after you got off of work? Like your entire sessions would always be at night. What if you could only play during your lunch break? It would always be at noon. So that's something to think about as well. That would kind of stink. You'd have almost no variety. I saw this one in the comments of my first video. What if you couldn't fly airplanes, jets, and helicopters until you completed the flight school? I mean, that's kind of realistic. You can't just go up to a helicopter today and say like, hey, I'd like the keys. I'm going to go fly this. Like you have to get a pilot's license. You have to go through hours of training. So what if you couldn't fly helicopters legally? Like the second you got in one, you would get stars without completing the flight school. Now the flight school is not all that hard, but that would be so insane. It'd kind of be a way for Rockstar to force you to do it, which still is kind of fun. But it would realistically make sense, but it would also suck. Like if you just need a helicopter, it's like, oh man, I got 4 stars just for flying a helicopter. So that would be insane if you needed to complete the flight school to fly helicopters, jets, and planes. At the number 8 spot today, having to take care of your character's hair. So I thought about this. What if hair sort of and beards and stuff grew out realistically? That would like change the barber shop in game. You'd have some people that had been playing since day one that would be like looking like ZZ Top, just have this super long beard. And you'd have other people that would be going for specific styles that would literally have to go weeks and months without getting their hair cut. You could almost apply the same thing to tattoos. I don't know if you have to like take care of them as much as you do your hair or anything like that, but I would assume it would like function in the same way. Like you would have to take care of it. You would have to update them. So that would kind of be interesting. And it would also, I think, lead to some more variety, but it would suck if you were going for something specific and you had to wait like 4 years to get the certain style you ultimately wanted. The number 9 spot today, getting our cars towed or our vehicles towed. So how many of us have done this? We want to go to a clothing store, so we just park our car in the middle of the street or like on the grass or on the sidewalk. You can't do that in real life. You're going to get your car towed or impounded. So what if you had to like realistically park your cars before you could exit them, or you had a risk of them getting booted, getting towed, just like in real life? That would suck. Like imagine you're in the middle of a firefight and you're thinking to yourself, man, I don't want to get my car towed. I need to perfectly park it in this parking spot. Otherwise, it's going to be in the tow lot. That would be something that would suck because you'd have to be so specific. And I don't think Rockstar designed the game with that many parking spots in mind. And at the number 10 spot today, this is kind of a new one. It wouldn't have really made sense a year ago. What if we had to keep our electric vehicles charged? So Rockstar have added a lot of electric vehicles into the game. The Coil Cyclone, they've added a bunch of other ones as well, like just a ton. They've kind of jumped on like the Tesla electric car train. You know, what if you had to keep them charged? And what if you ran out of charge in the middle of driving? What would you do? Would you just have to like have the vehicle impounded? Would you have to tow it back to your garage? Like, how would that work? Would Rockstar ever put like those Tesla-style charging stations into the game? That would be cool, but it would also suck, and it would kind of make you think twice about owning one of the electric vehicles we have in the game. But anyways, that right there is 10 things that would just be terrible if Grand Theft Auto Online was realistic. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. What would you add or take away from my list that we discussed today? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.